couple more right here, yeah. Nice.
I feel like that. What's his name? Yeah, it's a little bit insane, right? I certainly didn't expect it. I haven't been. I don't know when. I think there's some time issues that make for you to be qualified, but it is, it's crazy to be included in the list. I could pretend that I'm not really excited to be included in that list of people, but it's not something that's in the top of my mind, but it has been for the last couple of days, and so I'm excited about it. It's a real honor, even if they stick us in the holding pen for a few years, that's okay, just to get in that list. I can't believe I'm on a list with Whitney Houston and Motorhead, T-Rex. That's pretty awesome.
Obviously, you're much stronger because you're making those guitars.
Yeah, it takes a lot of strength to build a guitar. And pick up that tiny piece of wood and stick it to that other tiny piece of wood. We met because Brian builds guitars, and I play them relatively well. And so we started after I started using his guitars. We also started hanging out a little bit, and he'd come over to our house with either games that you could play with him. He's into games. He's a good chess player and stuff, and he'd like to come into a room of all ages with my family, my neighbor's family, and that we're all friends, and say, I got another game. I got a game we can play, and then he just told me this story about this game that he'd invented, which was Chicken Pig. At that point, it was in a little wooden box when he brought it over. And I said, what made you build a game? He said, well, I was playing this other game with some other friends, and it was the stupidest game. And on the side, it said, sold a bazillion copies. And I was like, what? And so I can make a better game than this, and then maybe I can sell a million. It was sort of joking, but then the result of that challenge to himself was that he made this game, and he brought it over, and we were like, oh, cute little pieces. They were a little different from this now. They're kind of round, and then we played the game, and then I was kind of like, this is a good game. That's insane, because you don't expect when your friend who glues wood together in his basement, when he rolls over to your house, that he's gonna have invented this game that would be a good game if you went to the really, really good game store and someone said, oh, well, what you should play is this game. And, you just walked over to your house with some cheap hinges on a wooden box and goes, Akish, and then we played, and I was like, whoa, it's a good game. Anyway, that's what it started, and I said, it'd be pretty cool if we tweak this thing, but it'd be pretty cool to see if anyone else agrees. Because then my family played, we played it, neighbors, our friends played it. From there, he made a few more copies. Yeah.
It was probably a year of just our friends and families playing, without talking about commercializing it. I mean, he joked it's gonna be the next Monopoly, but it was just kind of this fun thing that brought people together in the early days.
Nice. Excellent. You can put that down. I'm just gonna move this out.
How did the idea of the poop come up?
That was just a quick, there's going to be a cow on the board, and it just literally came like a flash. And I thought, it's going to poop on the board. If you go over a poop, it's got to be bad.
I don't know how many cows he's hung out with, but I'm not real experienced hanging out with cows, but I've been around a fair amount of them in my time on a fair amount of farms connected to me directly or indirectly, and cows, they shit all the time. Cows poop. There's a lot of poop all the time. And that's a very tidy version of a cow dump right there. And it sucks to step in a fresh one. It's stuck. There's almost nothing quite as frustrating if you're jogging across the field to land in a fresh one, because there's a consequence there. We used to throw flat rocks onto a fresh cow patty if you have friends around, just like, squawka, because it's like a hand grenade. It's a terrible turd. Most turds are pretty bad in large quantities, but But that is definitely a good thing. Like, it sucks to step in a turd, and that's in the game. It sucks to step in a turd. I mean, that's what happens. It sucks. Which is good. It's a great consequence game. I mean, if you're gonna have, when you're walking to the ice cream store with the kids, and then you step in a turd, it has an effect on the game.
Yeah, just kind of come
Couple
forward a
fellas.
bit. Yeah. Nice. Right here, yeah. One sec.